If you have chronic fatigue, brain fog, and an extra 5 to 10 pounds around your waist, even after eating healthy foods and following typical health guidance like exercising, you may want to look into food sensitivities. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how eating healthy foods that you're sensitive to makes you fat, foggy, and tired, and what you can do about it. Hey, I'm David, and I help people reclaim their lives from brain fog, chronic fatigue, and low self-esteem. So I encounter a lot of people that despite eating a clean diet, moving on a regular basis, and getting enough sleep, they still struggle to shed that 5 to 10 pounds of water weight around their waist. A lot of times they're resorting to more extreme measures. They're doing a longer fasts, more challenging workouts, and even just avoiding carbohydrates and a lot of their favorite foods altogether, and they're still not getting the results. It's really frustrating. So if this sounds like you, please listen up, because removing foods that you have an IgG food sensitivity to may be the missing link to taking your health to the next level. So before we get into it, what is an IgG food sensitivity anyways? If you haven't checked out my other videos, I'll go through this really quickly. So basically what this means is a delayed food sensitivity. So a lot of times when people talk about allergies or food sensitivities, they're referring to an IgE food sensitivity. So think about people that have sensitivities to shellfish or like oysters and of course peanuts. This is referred to as an anaphylactic reaction, where their throat closes up, they get hives, skin issues, all sorts of stuff like that. The tricky part about the IgG food sensitivities is that they're happening 24 to 72 hours after you eat the food. In practice, it's actually more like 24 to 48 hours. And so a lot of times you're going to get the symptoms like the brain fog. You might have joint pain in different parts of your body. You might actually be craving a certain food more. You may have rosacea or different skin rashes and a lot of other symptoms. And you could check out my other videos specifically on the signs and symptoms of the IgG food sensitivities. All right, so let me explain to you exactly how this inflammation in your gut and the 28 feet of intestinal tract that you have is making you fat, foggy, and tired. A lot of people are going to throw around really difficult terms, and this is meant to be really simple to help you understand, okay? So basically what's happening, let's take an example of almonds, right? So you eat a food with the intention of it being healthy, or maybe you go out to dinner, and so you think you're putting something good in your body, eating a whole food. And what happens? Well, the proteins or the amino acids in, let's say, the almonds are viewed as your body as a foreign invader. Your body is simply saying, hey, what is that? That doesn't belong to me. I don't know what that's doing here. And it's going to go ahead and attack it. A lot of times people are saying, well, oh, you can only have an IgG food sensitivity if you have leaky gut or intestinal permeability. And that is not actually true. This is a common reason why people have food sensitivities. And if you heal the leaky gut, well, your food sensitivities do go down. But I'll give you an example. So your immune cells, it's actually a two-way street into your gut. So your immune cells can actually go into your intestines. Then they encounter that protein. They attack it there. You have inflammation in your intestines now. So it's simply saying, okay, well, this is a foreign invader. Let's attack it. It's a pathogen. Okay, so now we have 28 feet of intestinal tract. There's inflammation there. Now, what's the big deal about inflammation? We hear that everywhere. Oh, inflammation this, inflammation that. Inflammation is not an underlying root cause. Inflammation is still a symptom. A lot of times people are saying it's an underlying root cause. It's not. So what happens with the inflammation? Okay, so there's two things that start to misfire in the body when you are chronically inflamed, if you're constantly eating foods you're sensitive to. The first one is going to be around insulin. Okay, so basically you can't get the sugar into the cell. Okay, so you can't actually transfer that glucose into the cell from the food. Now, what's the big deal about that? The big deal is that then your body starts to produce insulin, but then that insulin is not getting into the cells, and so as a result, you have high insulin in your bloodstream. The next thing that happens is leptin resistance. So now that you have this high insulin in the blood, basically what your brain is telling your body, it's saying, okay, well, we're in a survival-based state, we're attacking something, we need to hold on to body fat. Right now it's not safe to burn body fat, so we're going to shut down that process because it's under threat. So now we can't process sugar. So when we eat carbs or any sort of sugar, we can't actually use them properly. And then the next thing that happens is our body, in this alert survival-based state, starts to shut down the process through which we burn fat. And that's how we then carry that additional weight. In another video, I'll go into the exact process of how the water part comes about, but just at a very basic level, the insulin resistance, so we misfire from an insulin perspective, and then you also have leptin resistance. So these are the two contributing factors to how inflammation in the gut leads to you being kind of puffy and having that additional weight. So I really wanted to go through that and help you understand, at least at a basic level, how this works. Why? I want you to really realize that it's not you. There are things going on inside of your body that you cannot see, that once they are balanced, your wellness goals will come. The results will come. You don't have to resort to such extreme measures. You don't have to avoid a particular food for the rest of your life or be extremely restrictive with your caloric intake. And I know how frustrating it could be to try new things time and time again and never get those results. All right, so if you suspect you have food sensitivities, if what I just described sounds like you, what do you do? Okay, so there's two courses, or I guess three courses, but let's say two courses of action. So the first one would be to run the Food Sensitivity Lab, okay? It's a really easy lab to do, and I recommend you do it for you, friends, families, because about 3 out of 4 of us are having immune-based food sensitivity reactions, and at least 1/3 specifically have one to gluten. And so you can run that lab, and I would also run the organic acids or the Candida metabolic and vitamins lab. Why? Because a lot of times leaky gut, bacterial overgrowth, and Candida go hand in hand with food sensitivities. And so what this means is that a lot of times our food sensitivities are going to be significantly reduced once we heal the gut. So what does that mean in practice? Well, that means that, let's say you have a food sensitivity to gluten, which is pretty common, but you also have leaky gut. So actually those symptoms are exacerbated. So if you heal the gut, you could, if you have a low or a moderate food sensitivity to gluten, you can actually eat gluten on a weekly basis, even a couple times a week, and have no repercussions. So it really gives you the flexibility to veer off course a little bit, but still maintain a healthy body weight, still maintain that energy and that vitality that I know you want. So food sensitivities labs, a food sensitivity and organic acids lab. The second thing that you could do is a 21-day functional medicine liver detox. Why? Okay, so on a liver detox, you would be on a elimination diet. So you would be eliminating the top food sensitivities, which would be gluten, dairy, eggs, soy, and nuts. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's actually very manageable. So you would be eliminating those, and you would also be doing a gentle detox as well. So you would be lowering inflammation, you'd be balancing blood sugar levels, which would then balance your leptin, so that leptin resistance I was talking about, and you would give your body a really powerful reset. You would definitely shed that excess 5 to 10 pounds. You'd get the benefits of autophagy from phase 1 and phase 2 liver detoxification, and so much more. So this would be an ideal reset if you, for whatever reason, can't or don't want to do the labs. You just do this 21-day protocol, and from there you maybe reintroduce the foods. So you go on a rotation diet after that. So you've lowered the inflammation, you've squelched kind of the short-term symptoms. You should be feeling really good after that. And then you introduce, let's say, gluten. Okay, and then you wait 3 days. You introduce dairy, you introduce nuts. And then you kind of see from there, okay, where are my food sensitivities? I'm going to have another video that goes in depth on how to do what I call the rotation diet, which allows you to introduce multiple variables at the same time, so you could, within a reasonable amount of time, probably within a few weeks, really get a pretty clear idea as to where your food sensitivities lie. All right, well, that's it for today's video. If you got value, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more updates on how to optimize your mind, body, and emotions. And if you want more content like this and you want to support me to continue publishing work on this channel, please consider subscribing to my Patreon. Just give me a green juice a month, just to help keep the lights on, allow me to share this work with others and to continue offering free content that hopefully impacts your health, both your mind and body. Once again, it's truly a pleasure to be sharing this with you, and may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you move through this life with ease. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.